Here in Copenhagen, we had a great influx of cars starting in the middle of the 50s. We call it the car invasion. And by the early 60s, it started to be really bad. And in 1962, it was decided to take the cars out of the main street of Copenhagen. It's a 1 kilometer long street. There was great debate, discussion, it will never work. All this businesses will go broke and the weather is not good enough for being outdoors in Denmark, but it was closed anyway. That was the start of a long trek where in small installments, improvements have been made to the pedestrian landscape, to the public spaces.
We actually have 18 squares now that used to be parking lots. And when they started shutting them down and when they made the main pedestrian street here, people were saying, no, this is not Italy. People do not use the public space. What are you thinking? They don't go walking like just to take a stroll. And look what happened.
I think one of the wonderful things of pedestrian places is that they always surprise you. You don't know what's going to happen. Can we even imagine for a second what these pedestrian streets would be like if there were cars on it? For example, these kids here with the hat, that's the symbol of graduation. They just finished their high school, they are graduating today, they are going crazy, they are going into the fountains, and we see people also sitting on the floor. I mean, it's so nice and so well taken care of that people can sit on the floors.
People want to be with people, and that means we go where people are, where there are space for walking, for expressing yourself. For instance, yesterday I went down by the water and in front of the Royal Theatre there's this sport walk and there was outdoor tango all night.
I mean, they're meeting each other, they're having a coffee, they're just chatting, they're riding their bikes, they're walking their dogs, they're hanging out with their kids. Like, it's just amazing, they're just living. It's like the perfect example of public space and how to do it right.
So we've seen this gradual transition of the city of Copenhagen from a traffic-infested city to really a people-oriented city, which is quite lovely.
The philosophy is that if you can keep speed down, say 30k or 40k, you will not have so many accidents, and if you have accidents, they will not be very severe. So that's the basic idea, that if you want to transform our urban environment into something for human beings, I mean, you have to reduce the speed as one of the first things. I have a very few examples with 15k actually.
We have a number of streets which we call pedestrian priority streets, where pedestrians have the right of way, but you can have bicycles, you can have cars.
One of the reasons why it's such a wonderful walkable place, Copenhagen, is because they have lowered the speed in all of the neighborhoods. I think that in North America, we need to create fantastic pedestrian facilities and cycling facilities along the arterials. But in the neighborhoods, we have to lower the speed below 20 miles an hour. And not only just by putting up signs, but putting up physical barriers.
One of the best ways of keeping speed down is actually to use our humps. Because by the humps, you are very, very sure that the speed stays down. Because if you don't have this, you will have guys, usually guys, going much too fast in a low speed area because they can. We are standing in front of the old meat market in Copenhagen, and some years ago there was a lot of heavy traffic coming in the morning especially. So, but they closed down the meat market. We felt we're got to better change the street, and this is a very central part of Copenhagen, so there's a lot of people living here and a lot of enthusiasm about also using space for anything else than traffic.
This is a wonderful street, and can you imagine the difference of quality of life of all of these thousands of condos, and in the middle they built this fantastic park.
What's left is actually only a very narrow, we call it shared space solutions, where cars at very slow speed and also bicycles and pedestrians can move around each other without really any kind of regulation, as long as the speed is low.
There are some places where they got nice benches and restaurants on the side. You go to the next block and there is a small basketball court. And you go to the next one and a skateboard park. And then in some of the sides, you have fruits and vegetables that are being sold on the street. And then in another block, you have flowers.
In the meatpacking district here, we have a lot of new bars opening up. And there's, if you all the bikes that were standing around here, it sort of looks like this outside every bar. It's an amazing social network. You ride past cafes and you see bikes parked next to the cafe. It makes the whole city accessible and very, very human.
You know, these environments are very attractive for urban living, and it really attracts people to be on the streets, and it raises the price for those apartments up here, because this is attraction. I mean, this is urban, trendy lifestyle that we are actually offering here by redesigning our street for human beings.
We have 7,500 outdoor cafe seats, which are out for 10 months a year. As all over Europe, in a capitalistic society, if things are not good for business, they will be changed. And what we see in Denmark and all the other European countries, and we even now also see it in New York in the Broadway area, that when these people-friendly schemes go in, the businesses actually thrive.
From 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning till midnight, and you see constantly people coming by, and it's also great for the business. When they were going to create these pedestrian places, initially the retail were very much opposed to it, but afterward they found that the best commercial places in the city are their pedestrian streets.
It's anthropology. It's part of the social fabric of the city that there are pedestrians and cyclists, all around you at all times. It's human. This adds an amazing level of social community to a city. And I really think that this is one of the main reasons that Copenhagen is, time after time selected as one of the world's most livable cities.
I can't even imagine what would happen if somebody said, hey, let's turn this square into a parking lot. That would be drama in Copenhagen. So as soon as you win it back, the public space, win it back for human beings and pedestrians, then it's ours, then you can't take it away again.